The Overview Effect by Humongous. Quote, "Two things are universal, hydrogen and stupidity." Unquote. Frank Zappa. If you entered the term astronaut in the quote-unquote occupation field of a quote-unquote job application, you'd be telling the truth. Each and every person on this planet is an astronaut. Most shudder at the thought of traveling into space. It's so cold and scary out there. Yet, where do folks think they reside? Some idyllic utopia outside of space? If you've yet to eradicate the malware that's been uploaded into your brain, Earth is in space. Because you've inhabited this planet your entire existence, you've been in space since your inception. That would make you an astronaut. Gnaw on that grizzle of reality as the microscopic man stared through the diminutive window of the spacecraft at the planet in his wake. That was Earth. That was home. A fat syringe of uncut truth pierced his eyeball as he gazed at the endless universe in the background. He wasn't even a flea in the overall spectrum. This challenged everything he'd been brainwashed to believe. His quote-unquote faith in Christ was suddenly threatened. Given the enormity of what he was looking at, did it make sense what created all this was human? We're told Christ is God, and Christ obviously looks Homo sapien, but did that now seem logical, staring into the vastness? The prospect appeared damned arrogant, and the man trembled as the sacerdotal ideology he'd placed his bets on collapsed. Quote, "The more you begin to investigate what we think we understand, where we came from, what we think we're doing, the more you begin to see we've been lied to. We've been lied to by every institution. What makes you think for 1 minute that the religious institution is the only one that's never been touched? The religious institutions of this world are at the bottom of the dirt. The religious institutions in this world are put there by the same people who gave you your government, your corrupt education, who set up your international banking cartels. We have been misled away from the true and divine presence in the universe that men have called God. I don't know what God is, but I know what He isn't. And unless and until you are prepared to look at the whole truth, wherever it may go, whoever it may lead to, the more you educate yourself, the more you understand where things come from, the more obvious things become, and you begin to see lies everywhere. You have to know the truth and seek the truth, and the truth will set you free." Unquote. Jordan Maxwell. The confining quarters of the capsule closed in on him, and his head spun like some fucked up fairground ride engineered to make people puke. Not only had his religion been a lie, but so too had his belief in quote-unquote America. From this vantage point, there was no fucking quote-unquote America. In fact, there were no quote-unquote countries at all. Strange. He had flown hundreds of planes, but had never made the connection until now. From this distance, global unity was all there was, since he was able to see the entire globe. Aboard a plane, such wasn't so. He still gazed down upon a landscape that only encompassed the horizon. The surge of reality flooded his synapses, and the unwavering truth drowned his programmed mind. The frail human cogitated, alone in the dark void. It's all been a lie, hasn't it? The man's pallor drained as reality hit hard. Everything, the tiny Homo sapien ruminated. All I am, and all I've ever been, has been a lie. What's troubling you? You've seemed anxious since returning to, well, Earth. The psychiatrist opened her laptop and began typing. Did something happen out there you'd like to discuss? The astronaut grimaced. William, you know our sessions are strictly confidential. You can tell me whatever you'd like, and I won't divulge a word of it to the media. Struggling with the truth, the man ground his teeth like Folgers does coffee. We should take that useless bullshit the government tells us is currency, recycle it into blank sheets of paper, and finally print something useful on it. The Constitution of humanity. The woman glanced up from the monitor. Have you been getting enough sleep? Only this Constitution wouldn't be a contract. Nobody's bound by it, unlike the motherfucking U.S. Constitution. You definitely need more sleep. I'm going to prescribe something that will help. No. This is simply a thank you note to the Earth. A what? A thank you note to the Earth. William, I know I'm not your regular psychiatrist, so I have to ask. Have you ever been diagnosed with depression? Thank you for being such a lenient landlord, putting up with our decimation of your idyllic property, setting fire to it countless times, killing most of our neighbors, and shitting in the swimming pool the past 200 years of our lease. The woman snatched a conveniently placed bottle of pills and began filling a prescription. These are not over the counter, so the only place you can get them is from me. The exhausted man grabbed her arm. Are you even listening? It's known as the overview effect, and it's that shock of reality astronauts feel when staring back at Earth from off-planet. Our viewpoints tend to be myopic due to our skies appearing blue, the sun shining, and the fact we don't float away thanks to a lack of gravity. As a result, most of us spend our entire existences never realizing we are in space. Such being so, we're perpetually engaged in space travel. That means each and every one of us on this planet is an astronaut. As our Buckminster Fuller inculcated, we're aboard Spaceship Earth, traveling about this solar system. Since we're all astronauts, why do we feel it's necessary to wait for some corporate mascot, garbed in a suit bedecked with quote-unquote American flags, to leave Earth and gaze back on it to experience the overview effect? These douchebags look like race car drivers in their stupid jumpsuits sporting more logos than Times Square. Some of us didn't need to depart the planet in order to realize quote-unquote countries don't exist. Borders are an illusion, and we are all one.